my diamond coach, Kelley Della Vecchia, who a lot of you may know already. Her and I have been friends since we are very, very young. We lived together for a long time, and she's my inspiration. You know, you look for people that lift you higher and inspire you, and I don't want to cry. She does that for me. She always has, and if you know Kelley, she lights up a room with her smile, and she is a true, amazing, amazing person. If you're not friends with her on Facebook, friend her. Sorry, you're gonna get a letter of pass. But she's an amazing person, and she's gonna be sharing her story as a coach, and I'm just proud to know you, Cal. Come on up here. Hi guys, how are you? Tell me the energy in this room is not crazy right now. I love these events because there's nothing like surrounding yourself with beautiful, positive people, and just gets us all fired up. So, my name is Kelley Della Vecchia, and I am one of the Diamond coaches here on Team Perseverance. And I was so excited when Dave and Kristen asked me to be able to speak here today, because being a Beachbody coach has changed my life in so many ways. Actually, they had asked me 3 months ago to speak, and I was unable to. And now I'm looking at the size of this crowd, and I probably should have taken them up on that. Probably about half the size of what I see right now. I'm just kidding. But it's times like this that you're able to connect to people, and you really see that there's so much more than just getting hard abs and working out every day. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a full-time kindergarten teacher, and I have 3 beautiful children. I have an 11-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. And I always kind of considered myself fairly healthy my whole life. I danced from when I was 3. I played sports in high school, and as I was getting older, I was starting to realize that I was having to overcome a lot more hurdles with my health. So I guess it kind of started in my mid-30s when we were trying to have our 3rd child. It took us 3 years, and we had 3 miscarriages, and finally had to go through IVF in order to have her. And when I was pregnant with her, I was one of the lucky ones to also get gestational diabetes as well. So I was told that I had an 85% chance of getting type 2 diabetes in the future because I had already had the gestational, and it ran rampant in my family. It was both on both sides, with my mother and my father. So after my daughter was born and hearing that, I was completely dedicated to maintaining my blood sugar through health and fitness and diet and exercise. A few months after having her, I had some other health issues where I actually found some benign tumors, which are called fibroid adenomas, and I ended up having 5 lumpectomies to remove them. So honestly, at that point here, I'm in my late 30s, and I'm thinking, like, what is happening to my body? I've always been so healthy, and it's just starting to fail me. So now I was even more determined to get on track, lose my baby weight, and really, start to feel better and just, get my health in check. So I made a plan, and I did what every new mom typically does, trying to lose weight and getting healthy, and I joined a random gym. And I dabbled a little bit in Weight Watchers, and I was busy downloading a whole bunch of apps, and I was looking at diets where you can lose 10 pounds in, 10 minutes, and, obviously, it doesn't work that way. And I was finding myself not really on any direct plan, and what was happening was, I had 3 kids, a full-time job, and I was rushing home every day after work and trying to get to a 6:30 strength and tone class, and there were only a certain amount of classes that I wanted to take, so I was rushing my family, through dinner, and my kids through their homework, and it just wasn't working for me. So at that point, it was February of 2014, and it was a year after my daughter was born. And my good friend Chrissy reached out to me, and she asked me to join one of her challenge groups. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I have way too much on my plate. I just can't throw anything else onto it right now. So any excuse that you can imagine, I gave to her. It started with, I have 3 kids. And then I felt like a jerk because I'm looking at Dave and Chrissy doing this every day, and they had 3 kids too. So my next one was, well, I work full time. So then I'm like, what am I thinking saying that? She works full time, doing the same thing as I do, and she's got 3 kids. Like, now I'm really grasping at straws. So my last excuse was, well, I go to the gym. I take my Zumba classes, and I love my strength and tone classes. And Chrissy finally stopped and said, Cal, how's that working out for you? And that stopped me dead in my tracks. And I said to myself, you know what? It's really not working out that well at all. Because I'm not seeing any progress, and I'm running around like a lunatic, always chasing the clock. So I accepted her invite, and I ordered my little 21-day fix challenge pack. I was all excited. I read through all of the materials, and the first 30 days I lost 8 pounds, which I was really, really excited about. It was working, and you know, you trust the process and it works. So I felt amazing. I felt strong and empowered, and I was just really loving the energy that I was getting from the groups. You know, the support and the accountability and the motivation was exactly what I needed in my life. And it was a plan that I could follow. And I was seeing results, and I could do it on my own time, and it wasn't affecting my family time, which is so precious to me, as I'm sure a lot of you can relate. So, you know, I started to feel really good, and I remember saying to my husband, I was getting dressed one day, and I lost 25 pounds in about 5.5 months. So I think at one point I said to myself, you know what, I might not be in my 20s anymore, but I can work it with the best of them. But by August, I was emerald, and by December, I had hit diamonds. And the business was exactly what I was looking for in my life. It fulfilled a piece of me. I love inspiring people and telling people my story, and watching my challengers grow and transform their bodies. And, you know, I need the support and motivation as much as, you know, all of them as well. So we just kind of fed off of one another, and life was freaking awesome, I have to be honest with you. I had a great husband and a career that I loved. I had this booming little Beachbody business on the side that was supplementing my income really well and helped us pay for, you know, a lot of extras around the house that we were doing. So my kids were happy and healthy, and you know, life was just really good. At that time, I had just started PIO, which just came out. I was all excited about it because I'm so into the mind, body, and spirit thing, and I was like, this is the program for me. So I loved it. And as I was working out one day, I noticed that I had a sharp pain in my chest, and it went from the front of my chest through to the back. And I remember, I think I was in Chrissy's group, and I kept saying to her, I think I have a pulled muscle. Something is off, something feels really weird. So I still worked out, and you know, it was painful, but I still worked out because that's what I was thinking. It's maybe anxiety, you know, I pulled something. I went to, you know, several different doctors, and they said the same thing. So I thought nothing of it. I kept plugging along and setting small goals for my business, and I worked out alongside of all of my challengers, and you know, things continued to go well. So well that I remember actually walking in the hallway with one of my coaches, Jessica, who's in the audience today, and I remember walking down the hallway and saying to her, you know what, Jess, life is so good right now. It's just so well balanced. I've never, ever, ever had everything kind of in place like it is right now. And I know this sounds weird, but I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, things have never been this good. And those of you that know me know that I try to look at the bright side of things. So this mentality was really weird for me, but it was something that I just couldn't shake. I had it in the back of my mind. And I said it several times. So fast forward to January 10th, 2015. I was now at our Super Saturday event in the Katona Library. And I was so excited because I was now able to sit in the front row with all the diamonds. And you know, I had only been a diamond for like 3 weeks, so like that was, you know, really special for me. And I'll never forget, Dave had played the Super Saturday video, and there was a coach on there that they interviewed. Her name was Katie Ersta, and she was then a 9-star diamond. And she was telling her story about how she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and how she was trying to maintain her Beachbody business and raise her 2 children. And it was so emotional and so raw, and I connected with her right away. And I looked at Kristen with tears in my eyes, and I said, see, this is what people need to see. Like, this is real stuff. This is inspiring. And I walked away from that Super Saturday and I felt fiercer than ever. I felt like I could walk on water. And I was setting all kinds of goals for my business. I was fired up and ready to go. And, you know, I kept thinking to myself, if Katie Ersta could do this, being diagnosed with cancer, I can do this. But little did I know that 5 days later, my shoe was going to drop, and it did. It happened on a snow day, and my husband and I are both teachers, and my family was home from school, and we were looking forward to just having a cozy day with each other, you know, light a fire. I was drinking coffee and chatting on the phone with my sister-in-law when I noticed something. And I felt my neck, and I noticed a lump the size of a quarter in my neck. And I remember calling my mom screaming, saying, I found a lump and I just really think something is wrong. And I was just so taken back by the emotion. Like you know when you hear, you know, when people are diagnosed or something is about to happen, like you just know, you have that gut instinct. I had that gut instinct. So 2 days later, many painful tests and doctor's appointments determined that I did have indeed stage 3S Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I remember calling Chrissy on my way to Mount Sinai to get my lump biopsied. And I remember saying to her, can you please just make sure that my challengers are covered? I don't know how long this is gonna take, and I just don't want them to think that I disappeared, but I didn't really know what was happening, so I was afraid to tell them anything. So she did. I was just completely devastated, and all I kept thinking about was my husband and my kids, and I just can't believe this is happening. They found cancer in my neck and all over my chest, so that was that pain that I was feeling, and in my spleen, so it started to enter my organs. My life completely flashed before my eyes, and my family and I went into what I call titanium mode. My mom lives in New Hampshire, and she picked up everything that day I was diagnosed, and she moved in for 6 months to kind of get us through this. I started chemo this past February, and Dave and Kristen were absolutely amazing, and they picked me up on some of my crappiest days. They even put me in contact with Katie Ersta, who is now one of my mentors and who I just love so much more on a personal level now. And I sought out her guidance as to how to deal with this cancer diagnosis and maintaining this business that I love so much and just surviving. At that time, Dave had just watched a motivational video from one of his favorite speakers who he calls E.T., and it focused on the words, I can, I will, I must. So Dave posted that on our team page, and it quickly became my hashtag. So anytime anybody from Team Perseverance would message me or they would tag me in something, they would always hashtag it, I can, I will, I must. So it quickly became my mantra for this journey. So we had t-shirts made up, the whole 9 yards, so it was really, really special, and the support that I got from the team was unbelievable. Everybody pulled together and they picked me up on some of my crappiest days, and they picked up the slack on my chemo days and the days to follow. You know, my then Emerald coach, Jessica, who's now a diamond, took over my group for a month or two, just because I was so frazzled and I didn't really know, you know, what was going to be happening. So, aside from my family and friends, Beachbody has given me a support system I can't even explain to you. I don't know if I would be able to be as mentally strong and being able to even stand up here and talk about this in front of people without the support of my team. It's been a ride. My last chemo was this past July 20th, and I'm feeling great. I'm back at work. My business is back where I want it to be, and I'm healthy. So the bottom line is this: life is completely going to throw you curveballs. Whether they're big, small curveballs, your road will not always be straight. But you all have the power to do anything you set your mind to. And it's simply amazing being surrounded by people who support you and lift you and just make you be a better version of who you are. So I have to thank our team for that. You know, I might have a more intense story, but anyone can do this business. I'm a mom. I'm just a regular mom. I'm a teacher. I just happen to have a cancer diagnosis, but you know, you can do anything that you set your mind to. So when you have those doubts creeping in your minds, I just want you to think about those words from E.T. I can, I will, I must. Because you can, you will, and you must. So that hashtag will be forever ingrained in my heart. So I thank you for listening.